Hey everyone, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Um, First and foremost, I hope you guys are all doing well and are staying home, staying safe, staying healthy. I know this is a unprecedented, crazy, weird time, but this too shall pass, and I hope you're spending this time enjoying more family, learning new skills, refining some skills, so that you can hit the ground running when we're all back to normal, I guess. So I am so excited to be here to talk to you guys about all things marketing, really about my tenure in marketing, and I really hope what you guys take away from this is some new insights, some new understandings, and hopefully shed some light specifically on the things that I consider myself an expert in. Let's dive in. So we're going to cover my career, tenure for the past 10 years of marketing, really focusing in on where I've added value and impact, one of those being account management, and we'll talk about what account management looks like if you're interested at all in going in that direction. Digital Marketing 101, really understanding the full suite of capabilities, and then multicultural marketing, which is a big passion point of mine and another area that I consider myself an expertise in. And then we'll wrap that up with sort of what's new to come and the next big thing in marketing. So my name is Diana Pinedo. I am the Director of Client Partnerships at iHeartMedia and the CEO and founder of Misinformed Latina. I have really spent the last 10 years in marketing. I got my bachelor's degree in communications and marketing with an emphasis in Spanish journalism. I have worked on the startup side, I have worked on the corporate side, and no matter the organization, I firmly believe that teamwork, grit, and adding value and impact are the most important things in any organization. You have to make sure that you feel like you are adding value and impact in the role that you're at, in the company that you're at, and if you don't, then maybe it's time to reevaluate. It's something that I had a hard time learning when I first started in my career, but I'm so glad that I did because I really now understand where my strengths lie. And in addition, I understand the areas I need to improve. And that's only going to make me better in my career. I am also the CEO and founder of Misinformed Latina. It is a platform dedicated to helping inspire and educate and inform disenfranchised communities of color, particularly with a focus on young Latinas and all about navigating your adult life. When I graduated college, I felt like I was really misguided, misinformed, and lost, and made really poor decisions when it came to my career, when it came to my health, and when it came to my finances. So I wanted to create this platform so that no one ever has to feel that way, and that they have the right resources, they have the right tools, and they have the right structure so that they can live a very prosperous and purposeful life, learning all the things that I learned over the course of my life, really my adult life. So just to jump into my career background so you guys kind of have a more thorough understanding of the perspective that I'm talking from and how I've maneuvered my way through the marketing career. So I actually went to Pace University in New York. It was a small private school, and that's really where I started my marketing career. And I really loved it. I had such a great time. It's such a thriving business culture there. And so I really, really enjoyed that. While I was attending Pace University, I actually got an opportunity to study abroad. And I went to Brazil through an international business course, which I absolutely loved and highly recommend. For those of you that are not graduating, look into doing a study abroad program. Now I get it, it's super expensive. Believe me, I actually ended up taking out a student loan so that I could go do that. My parents did not fund any of that for me, and it was worth every single penny, even if I have to still now pay it back. And I highly, highly recommend it. And then I decided to transfer to Cal State Northridge. And while I was at Northridge, I actually got an opportunity to intern at NBC Universal's Telemundo, a smaller company called Mundos. It was focused on Spanish language music. Think like MTV3. for those of you that are even familiar with that, and I really enjoyed my time there. After I graduated college, I ended up working at Universal McCann, which is an advertising agency based out of LA, and their primary account is Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. At the time, I was advertising for DVDs, for all the movies that were coming out. So after they went out of the theaters and into the DVDs, we were doing all the promotions for that, and really focused more on traditional. So radio, newspaper, magazines, billboards, and of course tons of commercials on TV. I remember being one of the first advertisers to advertise on Pandora, and that was like a big deal. But at the time, digital advertising really wasn't where it is today. And really, it's so much better because you're able to really target audiences that you're going after versus a more larger advertising tactics that we did prior, right, where you're getting in front of anyone and everyone. And so after that, I decided, and I actually want to mention that I highly recommend that you go into an advertising agency as a great launching pad. If you're interested in marketing, you will get to understand all the ins and outs. You'll get to work on different brands. You work cross-functionally. And I think it's a great place to get your feet wet if you're interested in marketing and advertising. From there, I decided to move over to the brand side, so then I moved to 21st Century Fox. So I was at the studios for about 4 years. It's probably where I spent the longest amount of time at any job. And I really learned the ins and outs of media there and entertainment. I worked on all of the international accounts. We were giving away all of our movies. We were licensing out our library of movies. So it was really interesting to kind of understand all the rules and regulations. You had to adhere to certain contractual obligations. So I learned a lot about reading contracts and managing different accounts. From there, I decided to move over to Me Too, which was a multicultural media brand. They're still around. They create content, particularly for the Hispanic millennial. And I really, really loved my time there. I was a B2B marketing manager, and then I was promoted to brand partnerships account executive out of New York. So I started in New York, and I eventually went back to New York to work, and I really enjoyed my time there. What I was doing was pitching our company to different advertising agencies, to different brands that we thought could really align with the multicultural audience. I really enjoyed my time there. I decided to come back to LA again because, my heart really is here. My family, my partner, everyone is here in California, so I came back. And then I ended up working in healthcare advertising, different digital advertising agencies, and most recently ended up at iHeart. In between that time when I moved back and before iHeart is when I launched Misinformed Latina as well. So I actually launched it in 2017, but really didn't take it anywhere until this year. One of my favorite quotes that I come across is that good marketing makes the company look smart, but great marketing makes the customer feel smart. And it's really what marketing is about. Oftentimes we're like trying to please the client, but understand that when you get into marketing, it's all about knowing the audience. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know how to market to a specific audience, then your products, then whoever you're marketing for isn't really going to go anywhere. I think the heart of marketing really lies in us. I mean, think about yourself when you buy stuff, right? Why are they targeting you? Are you a user who loves sports? Or are you somebody who genuinely likes makeup or fashion? Then it's better that we get in front of you because you're more likely to buy that product or to engage with that brand. All right, so jumping into account management, which is what I'm currently doing and what I've spent the last, I would say, 4.5 years doing. I used to be on the sales side, and I realized that I'm somebody who's so much more a nurturer than I am a hunter. So salespeople generally have to go and hunt for new deals, right? And so once the deal closes, they're on to the next deal. And some people are great at that. And I definitely think I have a personality to build the relationships, and I really love the building of the relationships, but I didn't like just being there to close deals and moving on to the next. I enjoyed the building of the rapport, building of the relationship, and nurturing those relationships, really understanding clients' pain points and finding the right solutions that fit them. And really, that's what account management is. It's about nurturing client relationships, like I just mentioned, and the two primary objectives of somebody in account management is retaining client business and finding new opportunities for growth. And that is what I really enjoy about. It's a win-win situation in account management. If your clients are happy and you're continuously retaining them, then the company that you work at is doing well, they are doing well because you're helping them grow, and it's a win-win for everybody. And that's what I really enjoy about account management. I love this quote that I found, particularly about understanding representation. And it's that our interests are as diverse as we are. Don't put us in an urban box or try to win us over with hip hop or mariachi. I like space, I like sports, I like National Geographics, animals, technology. The answer isn't always to make a specific ad for the demographic. The answer is to represent diversity in every story that you tell. Remember that marketing is a lot to do with storytelling, and you want to make sure you create compelling stories. Those are what campaigns are that really resonate with you and resonate with the audience that you're going after. Digital Marketing 101. Like I had mentioned, when I first started, I didn't know anything about digital marketing, and I really had to work hard at making sure that I became an expert in the space, because it's the one place that's really growing. Even to this day, it's still thriving. Even during coronavirus, it's a place that people are still spending money because they want to get their ads in front of people, and that is through all of the different digital pipelines, right? That you're on your phone or online, because that's where we spend all of our time now. So these are really the areas that I recommend focusing in on: SEO, SEM, and social ads. SEO is search engine optimization. Those are the organic searches. So when you search something, in this case I did food delivery, everything that pops up that is not an ad, that is search engine optimization. That means they created really important keywords based on the keyword phrase that you searched, and that's how they were able to come up. It's super important that you tie SEO to any of your efforts, because it's the only way that the Google algorithm is going to allow for your company or your brand or whatever you're trying to promote to come up organically. And most people generally like the organic listings over the paid listings. SEM is search engine marketing, also known as search ads. Those are those 3 ads that you see at the top of your Google search whenever you search something. In the example that I showed, I did food delivery near me, and of course, who popped up? Postmates. Why? That's really smart. Postmates knows that I, as a user, am looking for their type of delivery service, and so that's why that ad comes up. And generally, they really are catering to specifically your searches and your keyword phrases. Really, really important in digital advertising is to do search ads. And then the last, or I guess the third one I'm going to say is Facebook, Instagram, social ads. I mean, they kind of go across all social platforms, but the 2 most popular, I would say, are Facebook and Instagram. They are both owned by Facebook, and they have a fantastic Facebook Ads Manager platform where you're able to create your ads, find your target audience, find your target demographic, find your target location, go after specific keywords and user behaviors, and it's really about getting that ad in front of the right person. My best example is when you see Pampers ads or baby bottle ads, and you are not somebody who either has kids or is pregnant or has a baby, it's really useless. It's like, what a waste of money and advertising space to get in front of you. I think Facebook has really perfected that because they have something called first-party data, right? You, as a user, give up your information. You say where you live, who you are, if you're married, if you're single, where you work. You offer all that information, and because that information is so vital when you're advertising, it's really great that it allows you to get an ad in front of the right user. That makes sense? So it's super important that you ensure that your ads are hitting that target audience. And then the last one I wanted to mention is programmatic, also known as display. These are all of the ads that come up on probably all your searches when you're reading articles, when you're on your favorite websites, the ones that they're all the banner ads or display ads that are at the top of maybe the article, on the side rails. Also really important, programmatic is just something, it happens instantly, like in milliseconds. And it's also targeted on user behavior and on demographic to get your ad on the right platform or on the right advertiser inventory. So those are the different websites that exist, which are billions and billions of them on the internet. And so I gave you guys some examples of those as well. I think what is really important to know when it comes to marketing is that this is so basic, and I'm pretty sure you guys have all learned about the marketing funnel, but everything starts with brand awareness, then there's interest, then there's consideration, and then there's action. And different platforms do different things. Different campaigns do different things. If you're in the e-commerce marketing space, you're gonna probably spend most of your time at the bottom because your goal is to just convert, right? Get as many people to buy your product. But when you're a bigger brand, let's say Nike or Pepsi, at iHeart we really focus on brand awareness. So we're developing different campaigns, mostly at our concerts and events, right? And we do different activations at events. So for instance, AT&T is a client of ours. And so my job is to make sure, like, we went to the Super Bowl and it was just like how AT&T, it's just building brand awareness. And so their goal was just that. So they really stay at the top. I'm not asking anybody to buy anything. I'm not asking anybody to sign up. I'm not trying to generate leads. All I'm trying to do is really promote the brand. So really I spend more of my time at the top of the funnel. But the goal always is to get them to the bottom of the funnel, and it's to generate those leads, and it's to try to get conversions, right? Which is somebody buying. Converting literally means that you're buying or purchasing. You converted into a customer. You went from being just a prospect, maybe interested in the cell phone provider, and then you actually switched to AT&T, which means you converted. At the bottom, which is really where clients care most about, in all honesty. One thing that really helped me in becoming a digital marketing expert, and I highly, highly recommend that anyone joining marketing, wherever you go, you become certified. Get Google certifications. I have Google search ads and Google Analytics, but they have a whole suite of certifications. They have shopping ads, mobile ads, display ads, video ads. Become certified. It will propel your career. It'll help you in your resume. It'll help you in your job search, but it will really honestly just help you in whatever role that you're in. It's really beneficial. The other two places is Think with Google and Google Trends. Those are two really great search platforms to understand things that are happening in the world of Google when people are searching. You just get a better understanding of what's happening, and they're just really great tools when you need to find specific things. Here are some key things to know when it comes to digital advertising. Always understand your marketing objectives, also known as your KPIs. Those are your key performance indicators. No matter who you work with, you should understand what are their primary key performance indicators. How much budget do they have to work with? Who is their target audience? And with all of that, you should understand what the best marketing tactic is. By tactic, I mean, is it going to be search ads? Is it Facebook ads? Is it display ads? Is it a combination of all of those? Maybe. It just depends on what their marketing objectives / KPIs are. And the most important thing, and what clients care about the most when it comes to advertising in general, is measurement and attribution. So they're going to ask you, I think a misconception of digital advertising is that it's just creative and fun. But believe me when I tell you that you spend a lot of time in Excel sheets and a lot of time analyzing data. And the reason being is that you have to be able to tell your clients who are spending millions of dollars how well their campaigns are doing, right? They need to understand their return on their investment, their advertising dollars. And so some of these things will include engagement. So that's how many comments, shares, likes on social media. Impressions, which is how many eyeballs got to see that ad. Clicks, how many people clicked on the ad. And then click-through rate, which is impressions divided by clicks. So what is the click-through rate from how many times an ad was served to how many times it was clicked on? Conversions, of course, are super important. How many leads you got, like how many people ended up clicking and maybe put stuff in their cart but maybe didn't convert yet. Or form fills, when you submit a form and you fill out your name, or phone calls. These are all how you generate leads, often known as lead generation. And then we have CPL, which is cost per lead, and CPA, which is cost per acquisition. It's of all the leads that you got, how much money did you spend? And of all those leads that you got, how much money did you spend and then they converted? And the most important, which I just mentioned earlier, is ROI, return on investment. Every single advertiser, anybody who is spending money in advertising wants to know what their return on investment is. They spent $5,000 on advertising, but we got them 5 conversions. Their products are all worth. So there's a 2-to-1 ratio, right? I'm just making that up. So if they spent $5,000 but made $10,000, that's what really matters to them. So another really important key before we jump into multicultural marketing and advertising is understanding representation. I mentioned this earlier, but it's so true. Representation is so important. If I don't see someone who looks like me in your ad, if I can't see myself wearing your product, I can't see myself buying it. Not including a woman of color in your ads means you left out a massive group of consumers who can't see themselves in the product. This is truly why multicultural marketing matters so much. It's one of the biggest growing segments, specifically millennials, which I believe all of us fall into. It's really one of the largest generational groups and consists of some of the biggest purchasing power. But you have to talk to millennials and multicultural millennials a specific way. We really push boundaries on what we expect from advertisers. And I think it's really great. It's like we are craving a different way of seeing things. Here's diversity by generation. So as you can see, multiculturals in blue. As we get younger, from millennial down to Gen Z, you can see that we're growing and growing and growing. And that line, I'm pretty sure, is going to be completely mitigated by the time the next generations to follow, which means that we better get ahead of really understanding how these people want to be represented, how we want to make sure that we're catering to them, and that we're also sensitive in the way we market, understanding the nuances of what it is to be multicultural and the things that we care about. Here are some just top-level statistics. 72% of African Americans, 62% of Asians, and 59% of Hispanics believe that brands are not doing enough to be representative of people like them in their campaigns. And I think that's really important, and it's why I've spent so much time really trying to understand multicultural marketing, because they really want to make sure that they feel represented, and they're more likely to purchase or engage in brands and become returning customers if there is proper representation. Another really great quote, and I think why multicultural marketing matters, is because people really believe, we come from all walks of life. We're Black and we're Hispanic and we're gay, we're women, and most importantly, we're parents. It says this generation wants to see more diverse families like ours in parenting ads. Few and fewer families in America identify with a straight white mom and dad, and I totally agree. I think that we need to make sure that that representation is the case across the board. Here's an example of one of the videos that I did that was going after urban, Hispanic, and African American audiences, and we wanted to create something that was really going to resonate with them. called AT&T Code Days, and it was all about like your area code and repping your area code. And they brought out like really cool hip hop artists, a lot of rap artists, and even good opportunities for people to win an opportunity to be the next big star. It was a way to try to penetrate that market, and it was about bringing AT&T brand awareness to the specific segment that they've never built a relationship with. So it was really fun, it was great to do, and we really tried to cater to the areas that we were in. So we spent a lot of time in Chicago, New York, and LA, and did different marketing campaigns within each that were representative of that local market. So we like rebuilt a subway for New York City, for example, as a way to really resonate with that audience exactly where they're at. Other places that you should really spend your time when it comes to multicultural marketing is where the audience is. The audience is mostly on social, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Pandora, Spotify. That's really where they're spending their time. So that's really the platforms that you really want to make sure that you're engaging with. What's the next big thing in marketing? All right, so there's a handful of things that are like really important in marketing, and that's one, customization. The next big thing in marketing is really happening right now. It's about customizing, really speaking to the needs of the consumers, particularly consumers of color is the next big thing, which I totally agree, especially when it comes to beauty and makeup. Voice activation, I'm sure you guys are seeing this all over the place, that voice is going to be the next big thing in marketing. Instead of typing into your phone or anywhere else, you're just going to be able to speak it, and all those things will be able to happen so much more seamlessly. Privacy is going to be another big one. Is going to shift the way we're actually doing marketing, which is very true, especially in lieu of what's happened across the board with tech and the privacy of users. And customer lifetime value, which I think is a really important one that you guys should understand. As consumers, we move through different life stages and life cycles, so how can we find ways through measurement, through things we're not even aware of yet, to maximize the value of ourselves to consumers. And that really wraps up my kind of marketing overview for all of you. Thank you so much for having me. I want you to know that you're welcome to follow up with me if you have any questions. I know it's a really scary time for everyone who's graduating especially, but just know that there are companies out there. You just have to do the research. Make sure you're refining your resume so that it matches exactly what the job description entails. Put in those keywords, but use your cover letter to really stand out and make sure that you are emphasizing why you're interested, what makes you different. That's really what your cover letter does, but let your resume really talk about your experience, and like I said, include some of those keywords. Make sure that you prepare for your interviews. Most interviews are going to be done remotely, and that's okay. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't do everything that you would have normally done if it was just a regular interview in person, but I recommend that you spend some time looking at roles that are currently open. Even if it's going to be remote, whether it's going to be this whole summer or the whole year, you can still kill it and crush it in your career. And there's a lot of places still hiring. And yeah, I mean, I want to be a resource to all of you. I'm really passionate about marketing. I'm really passionate about these particular areas. And so if you have a follow-up question, if you want to DM me, feel free. You can follow me at Misinformed Latina on Instagram. You can also email me. It's misinformedlatina@gmail.com. I'll include all that stuff in the subscription or the description of this video. And then I'm also on Twitter at Informed Latina. Additionally, I have a podcast called the Bestie Bon Bon Podcast, where I interview these professional expert women to come and talk about these specific topics. It's not marketing exclusive, but like how to kill it in your career, how to kill it in your finances, and in your health, both mental health and your self-care. So follow me at Bestie Bon Bon. But yeah, thank you so much I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation, and I hope to see you guys in the near future at Cal State Long Beach. Thank you again. Bye, everyone.